Hello, Dr. Susan Kay here from the Hill Country outside of Austin, Texas. And I'm here with a dear colleague, and I think I can say friend. We've only spent a few hours together, like personally. He was here at the camp
Oh,
in Texas, and we walked the dam. Remember, Carolina, the sunset?
yes.
And
Ah,
so we were bonded at the heart from the beginning, and the work that Carolina does for us as a surrogate partner is just phenomenal. So we had to get her on today to talk about a client that's just finished, and we'll read his testimony at the end. I'm going to save it to the end, so you have to watch the whole show. So Carolina Lioness.
yes.
Did I get it?
Yes.
To me, she's just Carolina. But we were talking about her accent, which is like this beautiful music that goes on. And my Pennsylvania touch ears just don't hear it, some of the words. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Carolina is going to also tell you about her website and how she got the website and came into the work. It's a fascinating story. So I'll take it from here.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. First, thank you for being my teacher. For me, it's an honor to have someone with your experience in my life and guiding me in this path of healing. And that is sometimes it's not easy, but it's a full reward in the heart. Thank you.
Very true.
Uh-huh. So my name is Carolina Laínez. I've been doing surrogacy work for about almost 5 years when I was trained by Susan. The training, it was more like 8 months at least, and then a lot of hours of practice. Those practice I did with Dr. Marilyn Volker here in Miami. And since then, I've been fascinated with how intimacy work. I'm more specialized in working with males and finding out and support them in their process of healing, and also improve their sexual intimacy. And surrogacies go beyond that, beyond sexual intimacy, how we experience in our cases, that we go beyond that. As a human, we start evolving. We need more, right? So we are in that point. So what else I can tell you?
Your website.
The story of the website. Well, when I do tantra also, I'm a massage therapist, so I diversify my activities.
In Miami, let's make sure people know.
Yes, in Miami. It's all in Miami. Yes. So when I start coming out, what I call as a sexual healer, I will say, I was talking with my mom about it, about tantra and how exposed I was feeling. But I was hoping that, tantra bring abundance in my life. So in Spanish, we have the same for saint, right? Or santo, or Santa Maria, or San Peter. So my mom say, oh, you can pray to Santantra. So, and then it's like, oh, Santantra, yes. And that is where I count that name, Santantra, as a saint, Saint Tantra. So that is the story. And I keep praying for Santantra. And that is the name.
Too, right? That's the name of your website.
Yes, santantra.org. That is my website, or you can find me as a Anoli Santantra. You can find me in those. Mm-hmm.
And you can also find me, and I'll connect you too.
Yes, of course. If they find me, they find you, and we work together. And because the idea, the beauty, at least for me, in the surrogacy program is to work with sex therapists, or nowadays we are expanding to more counselors and psychologists. But we work as a triadic model, right? That we have your team. If you come to Susan or you contact me, and you are going through some concern about your sexual intimacy, we work, three of us is work together. So you come to Susan, our sex therapist, and then you need a partner because for whatever reason you don't have it. I step in and walking through together this program. And then I report to Susan, and then you go to her, and then you move on, right? What we call Susan will be the neck up, and I do the neck down. So that is the main I will say the main help, that this program has.
Yeah, it's the model out of Masters and Johnson, except that we expanded it to include all folks who do neck down and neck up, not just the surrogate or not just a psychotherapist. But as you said, there's other folks, especially sex coaches. We have a lot of sex coaches on our teams now out of Patty Britton's class and course. That is the neck up. And so we have, and the variety of neck down. I mean, back in 2000, when I coined this phrase, expanded triadic model, I never thought it would get as huge as it is. But it's the good thing about it is integrative medicine is seeing the value of using a team approach and complementary healing modalities, just as we use for the mental health and well-being of folks and the central sexual health of well-being of folks, is that we have both neck up and neck down practitioners inside the Masters and Johnson's triadic model.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I think it's a very good teamwork for someone to receive this support, because I think the last studies in psychology, that people are realizing that there are so many years working only in the head, analyzing and processing what happened or what didn't happen in their life, and then in the body when it comes to sexual intimacy is what will work. So combining those two, the person, and we see in many cases, we move together. We finally come out of the head and experience in the body. So I think it's fantastic, that teamwork. Yes.
Well, we were just so excited about our most recent client that dawned on me, I need to get you on tape anyway. So let's talk about our guy in Miami.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just tell his story.
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to read the testimony.
Okay, perfect. Well, he's a male. When we started, he was around 52, and he came to Susan for a PE, precocious ejaculation, and so that was his main concern at the time.
A year ago.
A year ago.
We realized
exactly.
it's a year, September, that he.
September is going to be. And now he graduated, and he's out there having fun. So we started with him, how we start all the program with step by step, giving the will of consent. That is the basic one. How we are touching. Are we touching for my pleasure, for their pleasure? So he started learning and giving the basis. And little by little, he started going deeper in his own masculine energy and own his body. So he started going out. he started running marathon. Now he run marathon that he never thought that he gonna do it. He's going out and flirting with people and feels very confident and having experience that he never thought that he will have. And all these we did very slow process. I mean, he just what we say, he graduated after a year. So, and he has been changed, completely different person. There were some times that he didn't understand the process that he was on. You know, when we are learning, we have curve of learning. Sometimes we reach a plateau, right? And then when we reach a plateau, it's because we are learning and we need a little bit more stretch up. And he did beautifully. He was so persistent. I admire him for that because he just believed in the teamwork that we did for him. And talking with Susan, doing the exercise with me, and just going deep in his own process and really trust and really trust. So now he's much, much more confident in every aspect. That's why we say that this program is not only for sexual healing, it's just go beyond, because when we have a healthy sexual intimacy, we can learn how to have intimacy with ourselves in all aspects of our life. This is like, you know, the rock that we throw in the water and the ripples go beyond. So it's we are so happy and so proud. It's beautiful to see someone to bloom in full blossom and feel confidence and feel masculine, that he can allow so many emotions and doesn't interfere with his masculinity.
Yeah. Can you say, what do you think was his main obstacle that you overcame? Because in his head, he wasn't able to hold his erection, right? That's what the issue initially was. But what do you think was underneath it? What was the main issue he was struggling with?
I think his main issue, it was with his mind, because he went to his mind and the anxiety of performance. Do I gonna have an erection? Do I gonna last enough? What I am doing in her body, how I can read that she's having pleasure. So all these insecurities, I start talking in his voice, and then of course the body respond. So he wasn't doing having erection, and he has premature ejaculation just for anxiety in his head. So the main challenge for him, it was coming back to the body. Okay, I'm having all these voices, right? But then with breathing exercise, and just be in the body. Okay, what I can do to bring myself to this moment, to the part of that I am touching with this person. That was where he find it. Oh, okay. Let me take a deep breath. Okay, how my hands feel, and then the anxiety, go down, and his head stop talking.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where we want them anyway. That's where we want to be in a sensual sexual situation, is in our bodies, to allow the sensations to rise up and take over the experience, not this noisy roommate, as I call it, this chatter. And a lot of what the disconnect is something that's going on in our bodies from our childhood, like trauma, or
Mhm.
early on incidents where um, maybe we made an attempt to have a sexual experience and it didn't go well, and that is still in there niggling for until we're 52 years old.
Right.
So we have to get it out of the body to clean it out, so we can fully be in our sensations and our sensuality first, and then our sexuality.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think he struggled. He had a couple bumps about it, right? There was places
Mhm.
where he was also afraid to tell you some of the things that he liked.
Exactly. Yes, there
Yeah.
were some bumps that he was working in his mind and everything. And we also work in communication. Okay, speak and tell me what's going on, how you feel. And he started open up. And it's like, okay, I can speak my truth, how I feel, and say yes, no, or no now, and speak that, because at the beginning he believed that having a shower with a woman, it was equal sex.
Ah,
So we work, it's like not necessary, I mean, if we put agreements and boundaries, we can have so much intimacy and sensual intimacy, but we know where we can go until where, and enjoy that, and don't have the stress like, oh, do I gonna be performing in the shower? And maybe it's not necessary, it's a way to connect, that's it, to have different type of intimacy. So he was learning to speak his truth, how he feel, and allow himself to say, I don't feel like that now, but we can do something else.
yes. It's such great teaching because I tell all my clients our largest sex organ is our communication,
Mm.
our ability to say what we like and what we don't like, and to be vulnerable and ask a partner, what do you like? You know, guys come in and say, I just don't know how to please a woman. I said, well, it doesn't matter how many books you read about what turns on a woman or what they like, because the woman, excuse me, the woman in front of you is different than any woman in that book. And you know, I always tell my guys, they buy this tabloid magazine that says 10 ways to make every woman go wild, and they think I got the key, and I got, you know, they're studying the book, and you know, the tragedy is that the women are like, well, that hurts me. You know, like,
Right.
so it's like you don't have to know. Be vulnerable and everybody wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that is what I think a lot of women's we appreciate, and even got turned on with a man. It's vulnerable. I mean, not vulnerable in like a weak way, but like, I don't know how I feel now, maybe doing that. Maybe we can do something different, or, yeah, it's beauty. Or when they ask us, how you like to be touched.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's again, vulnerability to not be up against that male model where, you know, you're going to go in and give her orgasm. You know, it's such old language and old. Yeah, we can laugh about it now, but
Yes.
the suffering and the struggling that people go through, and when they see it, when the light bulb goes on, it's just like, you know, it's a time when Caroline and I are like, oh my gosh, he had the moment, he's got the
Yeah.
light bulb, he's
Yes, it's beautiful.
we
This
get to celebrate.
yes, this work, it's amazing. It's amazing. I wish that everybody have this program. Everybody, men and women, not only for men and women, we all need this program
Yeah,
from young age. And I think that the world will be very different what is now, right? In the term of intimacy. So coming back to him, our last case, he also allowed himself to explore different aspects of himself, being vulnerable, or we also play being, what about if he was in charge, right? Taking own it, his masculine, or no masculine, but his action energy. How was that for him? So we explore all these energies within the therapy and boundaries, and he realized a lot of things about him. It's like, oh, okay, I'm more as a receiver, or maybe sometimes I want to be more forward and dominant. So he's exploring now out there.
Did you have your dinner? You were having a final dinner to close.
Yes, not yet, not yet. Probably in 2 more weeks. We will have a goodbye and honoring each other present dinner. Yes.
And he's to make the arrangements and set it all up. That's his job, right?
Right, and that was part of it. It's part of the program that we practice. We everything that we do is hands on it. If he was didn't know how to make arrangement for a date, okay, we practice that. Where he gonna pick me up? We gonna meet. What are we gonna do? So he started taking charge of what he wants. Um, and so that is one of the practice of the program, and he's learning very well, and he will call me. That is his homework. So okay, you call me and let me know when you're gonna pick me up or we're gonna meet. I want that you give me the surprise where you want to go. And he said, okay, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
And he also he tell me experience that he has, that he went out with his ex-girlfriend, and they went to have a dinner or something, and he won a specific plate, and then he said okay, and he started ordering for her what she wants, but also in the convenience way that he get also what he wants. So he was like very proud of himself that he took charge of the situation, so pleasing her and also pleasing him.
Yeah.
And he was very happy, and it's like, great, you got it. In those simple things that life give us the chance and situation that we can learn, it's beautiful. Every situation we can learn something about ourselves.
Yes, really true. And it's the socialization skills that I wrote my dissertation on, the importance, almost more than the sex piece of the training, is the socialization skills. If they learn all these tools and techniques and they don't know how to go out and ask for a date, or they don't have a place where they can bring a date home to, if they're still living it with their parents, or I know that he went out and he got some new furniture, right? And
Yes.
he did some parts of his house so it would be more female friendly. And that's the beauty of the socialization skills. We want to know, where do you live? What does it look like? And we go in and redecorate if we have to.
Yes. Yes.
How to dress, right? You got to lose those dirty old khaki cutoff jeans you're wearing. We instruct them on not just those pieces that once you get somebody there, but how do you, in a sense, market yourself so you feel good about yourself, and then you have that confidence to approach someone or ask someone on a date. And you touched on it, that it works for men and women. It works for everybody. It works for trans. It works for gay, lesbian, bi, non-binary. I mean, it's basic human skills that we don't learn anywhere unless we go somewhere to learn them.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, it's true. It's true. It doesn't matter the gender or sexual preference. It's just a human skill. How we enjoy and practice our intimacy in general, right? And in this case, he's learning to have new furniture, maybe a little incense or the light. He was asking me what type of light I should use when in my bedroom. So I said, well, you can have different type of light for different levels of intimacy. You start turn on and on different lights, and his clothes change completely. He's so cute, dressing in his own style. but more colorful and more fashionable for him. So buying a little plants and things for his home, and it's like, wow, I'm so happy. Yes, yeah.
What work you have done and made a difference in people's lives. It's such a it's an experience unless you go through it, that this is actually what you do for a profession, like the you out there, or the people that work with us, that this is actually what we get to do, is see this transformation. And the reward and the value is just worth everything we go through. When we tell people what we do, they're like, you do what? Or they take it that it's not professional, and we are totally professional, and
Yes.
and really do some amazing transformations.
Yes, yeah, it's a beautiful work that it's a calling from the heart. Sometimes we are judged because the things that the people don't know. So it's more because they are uninformed what we do, and this work it's not easy because affect also in personal life. Because we are, how I say, misjudged. But when we walk this path from the heart, it's okay. I don't know what else I can do.
And your mom gave you permission. I love that.
I mean, I have the blessing of the most important person in my life, that is my mother. And when she came to Miami, visit me, Dr. Volker invite us for the panel in the FIU and St. Thomas University to talk about surrogacy. And my mom go with me. So the student asked, like, well, she doesn't speak English, so I can translate. And they asked, how do you feel that your daughter is doing this work? And my mom said, well, I am very proud because she's changing people's life in aspect that nobody can do. So she's very proud, and she like to hear some stories, and so, oh, maybe some suggestions. So it's beautiful. So I have the blessing of the most important person in my life, and that is enough for me, and that's it. Right. Yes, yes.
Well, let's read our excited to read his testimony.
Oh yes.
How he ended his notes to me. I want to thank you for your guidance during this important part of my life. I feel like I am a different person from the one who contacted you last September. I cannot ever repay you for bringing me back from the despair I was in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is him. Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I hope that everybody that want to get into this program give themselves the time for themselves, because it's this program that we are being having for many years in our life. Especially I work with men, so I refer to that. Like, having pleasure very quick under the pillow, and and they want to repattern, reprogram their mind in one session or two sessions. I will just invite you to just have compassion with yourself and give time. Those patterns that they don't change from two sessions over 40 years, that they are being thinking about it and going through a struggle with their life. So give time. It's a time thing, and you for sure the results, they're gonna be there if you want to walk right this.
And you learn a whole toolbox full of verbal communication as well as physical communication tools,
Mm-hmm.
techniques from the masters out there. Like you mentioned, Betty Martin's Wheel of Consent and the Masters and Johnson Sensate Focus. I mean, we pull, and the Tantra work that you pull. I mean, we pull from all the masters and
Mm.
ancient wisdoms of teachers of this world.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. So, and that we do from the heart. It's no other intention that I want, we want to see them just full potential.
Right. The
Mhm.
work is definitely from the heart.
Yes, yeah.
So again, thank you for who you are and what you do. I so appreciate our friendship and our
Mm.
laughter, because sometimes we get going pretty good with laughing and ideas we come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your support and your wisdom. And we just are changing the world, just one body at the time. Just one body at a time. So thank you, Susan, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Let me